Well, guys, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Rezi Irfan HADORI. You can call me Rezi. I'm from Masbagi. The under title is Analysis of Effort on Student Ability to Understand English Subject by Getting Used Dialogue. Okay, chapter 1, there is introduction. There is introduction. There are background of study, focus of the study, purpose of the study, and significance of the study. The first background of study. There are five. There are five kinds. The first is language. Language. Language is a system of sound symbol used by members of social group to work together, communicate, and identify themselves. The main function of language is as and means of communication between humans. The second is English language. English is the language used as a medium of communication and as the first international language used to the interacts with other people around the world. This become this becomes very important in education. Last few years, English has been taught at elementary school. The third is difficult. Difficult that students often face and complain about because they do not master English material, so it is difficult to convey ideas when communication in English in addition. They are so afraid and lack confidence in their ability to speak English. The fourth is dialogue. Dialogue method is well used in learning because it has several advantages. The advantages are the classroom situation will live because the student is actively thinking and conveying what is what is on his mind and train students to express their opinion. The reason I weighed the title about is taken because by using the dialogue method, student can quickly find out and understand the meaning contained in the dialogue be be confessed and can also develop student cork and skill in answering and interacting with other people. The next is the second focus of the study. In this research, the research focus on improving student understanding understanding. Therefore, some effective and efficient solutions are needed to motivate students to learn and communicate in English. One of which is using dialogue because dialogue will provoke student curiosity to understand. The third, the third is purpose of the study. The purpose of study there are two two kind. The first is to find out the level student ability to understand English subject at the 10th grade of IPS SMA 1 Masbagi. The second is to 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 find out the effort of student understand English subject in the 10th grade IPS SMA 1 Masbagi. Okay, the five is significance of the study. Significance of study there are two kind. The first is theoretical and practical. The practical in practical there are three kind. The first is theoretical. Theoretical as a solution to motivate students to learn and understand English to profit interesting to teaching media. The practical the practical there are three kind. The first is teacher. Teacher is educator can relate things that are happening around. Uh, the second is student. Student dialogue using English to student will involve emotional curiosity and also motivate students to learn and communicate in English. The next is researcher. It is hoped that this research can be used by future researcher because this research is a solution to motivate students to learn understanding English. Okay, the next is chapter 2. Chapter 2 there is review of literature and research question. Review of literature and research question. There are there, there are there are five kinds. The first is English, dialogue, relevant study, theoretical framework, and research question. In English, there are three kinds. The first is the nature of English. The second, the teaching of English, and the third, the effort to teach English. The first is the nature of English. This these various organs make language is expression of thought by means of spoken or writing word. The second is the teaching of English. The teaching English is the main key to the success of word interaction. The third is effort of to teach English. The lessons are one of the most important subjects for students to master. English language skills are not only needed for lesson at school, but it but it is also needed in everyday life. Okay, the next is dialogue. Dialogue dialogue is there are four kind. The first is the nature of dialogue. The dialogue involved an ethical stand, respect and curiosity, listening about what is being said that challenge one on and other assumption and result in authenticity. The second is dialogue in online context. In dialogue, the thing that determine the meaning of the next is not only the content of the conversation in the form of argument and idea, but also the relations, relationship relationship between participants in the form of speech transfer and sequence of idea to the identity of the participant in the conversation. The third is the prospect of dialogue in online context. The main convenience of online dialogue are the language and network structure of the user. The fourth is the barrier of dialogue in online class. Values related to online learning which were then simultaneously used as a learning system did not appear without problem. Okay. Next is relevant study. Relevant study, there are two relevant studies which related to this study. The first study was conducted by Jeffrey Soward. The dialogue method is learning process with result indicator are silent community building. The second study was conducted by Abdul Ghafur Murzani and the utilizing recorded English dialogue in teaching English was stressed to Islamic higher education student in Indonesian. Okay, the theoretical framework. According to Gorski et al. 20, 20, 20, 2015 IDT entail two types of dialogue or interaction in intrapersonal and interpersonal, and the associated researchers are also two types: human research and structure research. And then the research question. The research question, there are three kind. The first is, it is possible to contract a high contact or a low contact for a dialogue designed for students to read. The second is there any theory or model to describe information adoption in a dialogue? The third is, it is possible to create dialogue among different stakeholders via secondary analysis of qualitative data. Okay, okay. The next is chapter 3. Chapter 3, there is research methodology. Research methodology, the first is research design. This research design, there are descriptive research and qualitative research. Descriptive research is a type of research that is widely used in everyday life in describing object, place, humans, animal, and so on. Qualitative research is the process of exploring and understanding the meaning of individual and group behavior, describing social problem or human problems. Okay, the second is setting of the study. Setting of the study refers to place and time to conduct a study. The present researcher will conduct the research in SMI 1 Masbage from March to July 2022. Okay, the third is subject of the study. In this case, the subject in this research are student SMI 1 Masbage. The research are the limits participant for the 11 grades of IPS in the academic years 2022, 21 and 2022. The third is data. The fourth is data collection. The data collection, there are three kinds. The first is definition of the key term. There are two key terms in the thesis study according Becker. The key to dialogue is a reciprocal conversation between two or more people. The second is instrument of the study. Instrument is a tool which is used for collecting the data. Okay, the third is technique of collecting data. There are three. The first is observation, questionnaire, question and interview. Data analysis, there are three. The first is reduction, data display, and conclusion. Data reduction is the transformation of numerical or alphabetical digital information derived empirically